multiple launch rocket systems, or MLRS, or multiple rocket launchers, MRLs, are a much older weapon than you might think. In China and Korea, they were used as early as the Middle Ages. However, for the rest of the world, this type of weapon remained an exotic curiosity, right until World War II. The first modern self-propelled MLRS was the BM-13 Katyusha, with its prototype appearing in 1941. Although engineers of the time already had experience developing aerial rockets and launch rails, adapting such a weapon for a ground-based platform was no trivial task. Soviet designers experimented with several chassis before settling on what turned out to be the most successful choice: the American Studebaker truck, which arrived in the Soviet Union through the Lend-Lease program. Vehicles based on this platform, known as BM-13N, were produced until the end of World War II and participated in many Soviet operations. The Katyusha proved to be a highly effective tool for delivering sudden, massive strikes that demoralized the enemy and disrupted their plans. Toward the war's end, the Soviet Union developed an improved version, the BM-31, equipped with more powerful rockets and nicknamed Andrusha. The combination of affordability, mobility, and area effect firepower made self-propelled multiple rocket launchers a key element of artillery support. The German Panzerwerfer never achieved the same notoriety as the Soviet Stalin's organ, but it nonetheless played a notable role in the history of self-propelled rocket artillery. Developed in 1942, it was based on the Opel Maltier half-track, which provided sufficient mobility for operations on the Eastern Front. Its primary armament was a modified version of the Nebelwerfer rocket launcher, making it one of the first mass-produced self-propelled MRL vehicles alongside the Katyusha. The Panzerwerfer 42 launcher featured 10 tubular rails for firing rocket-propelled munitions. One unique aspect of German rockets was their configuration. The warhead was located at the rear, while the rocket engine was placed at the front. Two additional factors distinguished the Panzerwerfer from the Soviet truck-based MRL vehicles. First, it had all-around armor protection against shrapnel, improving its battlefield survivability. Second, it carried an internal ammunition reserve within its armored body. The German military deployed the Panzerwerfer 42 in numerous battles across Europe. However, despite its destructive firepower, it could not match the sheer density of fire produced by the Katyusha or the American Sherman Calliope. While German forces continued using the Panzerwerfer until the war's end, it ultimately failed to have a decisive impact on the overall course of the conflict. Despite their advantages, many self-propelled MRL vehicles shared a significant weakness. The near-total lack of armor protection made them highly vulnerable, not only to counter-artillery fire, but even to small arms fire. For this reason, such launchers, including the lightly armored Panzerwerfer and the Soviet BM-824, based on a light tank, were typically employed using hit-and-run tactics. The United States also wanted a slice of the MLRS pie. American engineers designed several conventional truck-mounted variants, but they also created a uniquely innovative assault system. They mounted a series of tubular rocket launch rails atop a Sherman tank turret, while retaining all of the tank's standard armament. Targeting was handled by simply rotating the turret and adjusting the main gun's elevation. This system was designated the T-34 Calliope, named after the steam-powered musical instrument due to its resemblance. The Calliope carried up to 60 M8 rockets, which were also used by American ground attack aircraft, giving the system an operational similarity to the Soviet BM-8. Initially, the T-34 Calliope was intended to suppress German defensive positions during the Normandy landings. However, its high center of gravity complicated transportation, limiting its effectiveness in this role. Nevertheless, Calliopes saw action in multiple engagements across Europe. While their operational use remained relatively limited and their combat effectiveness was modest, they proved to be a valuable tool for psychological warfare. The emergence of self-propelled and assault-type MRL vehicles marked a significant milestone in artillery history. These new weapons enabled rapid, large-scale strikes with minimal deployment time. The Katyusha and similar rocket systems changed the course of many battles, became symbols of World War II, and played a role in ensuring that the trench warfare of the early 20th century became a thing of the past.